Hey friends, welcome to the School of Hard Knocks with Darcie, a place where we become unstuck from trauma and grounded in our healing. I'm your host, Darcie, and I'm a proud multi-graduate of the School of Hard Knocks. Life has a way of teaching us lessons we never asked for, but here we take those lessons and turn them into healing, strength, and self-leadership. I'm so glad you're here. Let's dive in.
Just a quick reminder. This podcast shares personal stories and lived experiences. It's not therapy. It's not counseling or legal advice. If you need professional help, please reach out to a licensed provider.
Hey, School of Hard Knocks, welcome back. Class is in session. Today I have another guest on our Rebuild series that we're doing here at the School of Hard Knocks. This is Kevin Ford. Kevin, welcome to the School of Hard Knocks.
Welcome. Thank you.
You're so welcome. So Kevin has a podcast that is called My Life with Tourette's. And he also has a book with this very same name that you're able to get on, you said Amazon?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. So the podcast is about Kevin's life with Tourette's, telling people what it's like to live with it on a daily basis. He's been podcasting for a little over 2 years now. Awesome. And has also started public speaking and wrote the published book, like we said. His main goal is to bring awareness to people about Tourette's and what it's like living with it.
Yes,
I am
ma'am.
so excited to hear all about it. So tell me about Tourette's.
So to give a backstory about myself, I have had Tourette's for 30 years now.
Okay.
And to give an insight on from what I know as far as my life experiences and so on and so forth, Tourette's is a involuntary movement and sound disorder. Your involuntary movements are called motor tics, and your involuntary sounds are called vocal tics. So motor tics, you're going to see like people twitching their head, blinking their eyes, a big variety of facial movements, body movements as a whole. And then your vocal tics, which everybody tends to think is just you curse and say obscenities, but really it's noises from chirping. For me, it's coughing and clearing my throat until I gag. My motor tics should be stomping my feet, twitching my head, blinking my eyes, scrunching my face. So it's a big variety of things.
Yeah, so for 30 years, this has been the majority of your life that you've had Tourette's?
Yeah.
How, when you were first diagnosed with it, how did you go about handling the different things that were happening inside your body?
So, I mean, like, when I first got diagnosed, I was 8 years old, so I was still kind of, I guess you would say, like trying to figure out life as a whole. But I do remember not being able to focus as good in class as like everybody else, because like, you know, everybody else is sitting still, facing the teacher, listening to them talk, right on the chalkboard, whatever. And I remember one instance in particular in my youth. I would physically had to hold my head still with my hands in order for me to not move and be able to pay attention to what's going on. It has its ups and downs. Luckily, mine are more mild now and better under control with minor medicine and self-control at the same time. But starting out, it was rough, like through school mainly.
Because being a kid is just rough, period, going through school. And then when you're working against something like that at such a young age and just trying to figure it out, I mean, how did it stop you from doing anything in school that you wanted to do?
No, matter of fact, I played recreational soccer through all my youth and teen years. Um, I surprisingly enough, because like you hear about it now, and there's so much bullying going on with it
Mm.
all. Surprisingly enough, I never got bullied. The teachers never told me nothing. The principal never like come down on me for anything. And in the mid to late 90s, like it wasn't at all like it is now as far as popularity of it. But like with that, I never really got judged or nothing. I was just a normal kid that did something pretty much nobody I ever saw in any of my classes do.
Wow, like that's awesome, right? Because bullying is such a huge problem. Always kind of has been, but it seems like now it's a little bit worse because kids have technology. So they can get
Very
on
much.
any type of platform or get on their cell phones and they can be bullying somebody. So I'm so happy that that's not something that affected you as a child. Is there
Yeah.
any type of way that it has affected you as an adult as you got older?
I did actually. I had probably about 3 years ago now, 2.5, 3 years ago. I actually had about 2 months. It was probably at the most 3 months. I had a little episode where it almost completely disabled me. I couldn't drive. I couldn't sit in a car, let alone for that matter. Um, I couldn't talk on a phone. Talking in person was a struggle in itself. Walking became quite difficult. That's probably in my adult life of having it. That's probably the most miserable it got. I broke bones. I was coughing so hard I was cutting up the scar tissue in my lungs. I busted blood vessels in my eyes. So a lot of people don't realize it, but Tourette's is definitely not the most comfortable, and it does come with pain at times.
Yeah.
It,
Is there something that can potentially cause it to happen? Like if your worst moment was like 2 or 3 months, was there something that could have brought that on, or it just happened to be that's what happened?
so I went from how you see me right now to
Hmm.
that out of nowhere.
Wow.
Now you do have your triggers, which will spike up a tick, but as far as that little episode, just out of nowhere, it progressively got severe, and then as quick as it come on, it went away.
Oh, and I bet you were so relieved when it finally went away.
Very much so, because all I wanted to do was sleep in that time area.
I was just thinking to myself, geez, that had to really have impacted the way you were sleeping.
Yeah, if I wasn't sleeping, I was pretty miserable.
Yeah.
And then
Goodness.
and what's crazy is one of my ticks is I cough.
Mm.
So I don't know if anybody listening or you in general have had a broken rib, but when you have a broken rib and you have to cough because of your ticks, it makes it even more painful. So
Yeah,
it's like
jeez.
the tick, you have to let it out. It has to come out, and your
Mm-hmm.
ribs broke. So you're like, so I was trying like any mild cough I could let out to where I could feel the relief of the
Mm-hmm.
tick and not be in pain. And needless to say, it never really worked.
Yeah.
So
So there's medication that you said that you take or you can take, right?
yeah, yeah,
And then you said that there's different ways that you're able to sometimes control some of the things that are happening.
yeah. I do. Now to explain the self control is kind of hard to explain, but I'm on two medications that work extremely well together to the
Mm-hmm.
point where you see me like I am right now.
Mm-hmm.
But also like talking, like as long as I stay talking and conversating, I'm really good at not ticking or trying my best to completely block out any form of oncoming tick or anything I can do to kind of like keep my mind occupied. Like I'm
Yes.
talking, whether it be I'm jamming out to music by myself, anything I could do to just keep my mind moving. And it really helps a lot.
I mean, that makes a lot of sense too, because like for people who may have like a mind that races, I have a racing mind. I can never shut it off. I mean, I
Yeah.
used to talk to my dad about that all the time, you know, when he was alive, that I lay down at night to sleep and you would figure it would stop. But it's like, did I forget to do this? And what should I do tomorrow? What should I write about? What should this be? What should this? It's like, oh my gosh, I just want to go to sleep. Like, why is this happening? You know? But I have found they have all those sleep apps and you can put on rain and things like that. But when I put on Pandora and I listen to music, my brain is thinking about the words of the song, which isn't allowing me to think about all the other things that my brain wants to think about, right? Yeah. So
Yeah.
that works so great for anytime you just don't want to be thinking about stuff, put some music on because you're going to be singing the words of the song. Or for me, that is what actually helps me sleep at night.
Well, I mean, hey, whatever we can find that works, we find.
I mean,
That's the way I look at it. I mean, after all the crap I've been through with my Tourette's, I mean, whatever, whatever helps, helps. That's what.
yeah, that's right. So this podcast has been around for over 2 years.
2024 November.
Nice.
I've stepped away from it to deal with the book,
Hmm.
but I do still dabble in it here and there. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not as hardcore with it as I used to be because I
Yeah.
really wanted to get the book out there.
What was the purpose of initially starting the podcast? Just to share your life or to maybe communicate and connect with other people that have Tourette's?
So when I went through that little 2-3 month spell, there's a book on a guy. His name's Jeffrey Madovic. He's the first Tourette patient to ever undergo deep brain stimulation surgery because of Tourette's, which like the Parkinson's brain surgery, And I read his book, I watched documentaries, and I was like, man, I never thought Tourette's could get that bad. And then I got put in that same situation. And when I come out of it, and I mean, I always had Tourette's, so I didn't really think nothing of it. But I come out of it, and it was more of like I need to let the world know that there's more to this disorder than what people think. Like, I want to get my story out there for the world, for anybody out there that's struggling with their Tourette's, if they happen to come across it, or anybody that's curious to know about day-to-day life with Tourette's. I felt it was no better time than then.
Yeah, I mean, I love that. People who take something that they may be struggling with and turn it into a way to help other people. You know, like that's the whole point of the podcast here. I mean, I've gone through a lot of really hard stuff in my life, hence why it's called the School of Hard Knocks. And we get unstuck from the trauma and we get grounded in healing. Because when you're healing from stuff, you should always be grounded there and stayed there, you know, in the healing. And the more
Yeah.
that we are grounded in that healing, the more when things happen in life, because life just be life, and sometimes we're a lot better at being able to kind of put our armor on and be like, yeah, okay, been here, done that, already know, you know, shit happens, and we're just gonna move forward until the next thing happens, right? Because that's what life
Yeah, yeah,
does.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree. And
Yeah.
like I find like what I've learned coming out of all of that is like, don't ever, like, if ever you're in a bad spot, always try to turn it into a positive after. Don't stay in the negative. Like, that was my way of turning a crappy situation into a positive, and I think it helped because I've had people reach out to me through my podcast, and I'll never forget. I got a person on there. They've always commented from day one, and I'll never ever forget this comment. He said that the person said, "If it wasn't for your podcast, I don't know how I get through my day with Tourette's."
Mm.
Like that really hit. Like, that was like, man, like this is really severe stuff.
Yeah, it is. And that's the thing is so many people are searching out here for comfort, relatability, so they don't feel alone. And then they come across, regular people that don't have millions of followers and all the Gucci setups. It's like we're just normal people out here trying to show people you
Yeah,
can make
yeah,
it through
yeah.
hard stuff.
Yeah, you're right. And what was cool is like, you say normal people rather than the famous people. What's cool
Hmm.
is like to see the interacting and like the feedback that you get, I think brings me more positive on myself that I need to keep doing this.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I that's why I took the public speeches. That's why I took to writing a book. Like people like that person that left that comment has made a tremendous impact in me moving forward in a positive way when it comes to Tourette syndrome.
I love that. Well, tell us about the book.
So the podcast is like an everyday situation of living with Tourette. Well, the book's like a memoir, an autobiography,
Mm.
and it's pretty much summing up my whole life from beginning to now of what it's like to live with Tourette. It's like
Wow.
it's like a walk through life of having Tourette's.
Yeah.
I kind of looked around and I was like, man, there's really not a lot of books about personal life stories of living with it. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, well, I'm gonna make one. And I told, and me and my mom talk every day, and we're real close. And I told her, and I've told my wife, I'm like, I'm not at all in it for the money. Like whether I make $5 or I don't make none, as long as someone can purchase my book and take something from it, I'm more concerned about that than anything.
Yeah, and that's when growth in life starts to happen. When we start being truly authentic and, like you said, take a negative and turn it into a positive. I mean, I'm a firm believer of energies, right? So negative energy attracts negative energy, positive attracts positive. It's just the way it goes. If you walk through a life like a grump, you're probably going to have not all that great of stuff happening. But if you walk through life like, okay, life's doing its thing, tomorrow will be a better day. And if it ain't going to be tomorrow, probably will for sure be next week, right? And guess what? Sometimes it's just not next week. And stuff just hits the fan for an extended period of time. And life takes us through these valleys before it brings us back up on top of the mountain. And that's just the
Yeah,
reality of what it does.
yeah,
And there's a time limit on our life. I mean, I feel like I've been saying that so much because we go through hard things and we drudge through it and pull it along like this dead weight with us. And our life and our days are just going and going and going,
yep,
So to have the ability to take something that, I mean, is it negative? I wouldn't say Tourette's is negative. Like, oh my gosh, somebody has Tourette's. Oh my gosh, but when you are talking about the pain of it, like individualized for a person,
yeah,
like I
yeah.
couldn't imagine like anybody being bullied for having Tourette's. Like I don't care if you're shouting things out. It is what it is. But to think about the pain that goes along with just the manic moments happening or even trying to stop that from happening has got to be very hard.
Oh, very much so. And you say positive things. With everything going on, the book and everything, I'm glad you bring up positive and negative. I find recently that the best thing in life to do is to surround yourself with positive people.
Mm,
Like, hands down, everybody in my life right now pushes for me to do better, pushes for the book, pushes for me to do this, pushes. I got nothing but support. And I think that's a big help in motivation to keep wanting to do everything I'm doing. The more
yeah, I love that you brought that up because so many people do allow people in their life that aren't bringing something positive to it, or worse yet, people who try to drag you down when you're trying to be positive.
I've learned I've learned in this journey of podcasting, public speeches, book, that like another thing is no matter what, I refuse to let somebody bring me down.
Mm-hmm.
That just won't happen no more.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that stems from where I'm at in life with all of it. It's brought me a lot of ease and happiness. You know, I mean, a comment like that person made, I mean, you can't make that up. No money's gonna buy the joy and the feel that you get from that.
Yeah, I know. It's so interesting too, because for me, somebody who's tried, I've literally been working on myself for maybe a year. I've let a lot of my childhood trauma, a lot of the abuse that I went through, a lot of the things that I saw growing up really take over my life.
Yeah,
So when you really start to work on yourself and you can accept compliments in a different way.
yeah,
Without
yeah,
feeling so awkward because it's so like, oh my gosh, this podcast episode helped me so much. And I'm like, okay, that's great. Like I'm comfortable. I'm like the worst gift receiver, but I am the best gift giver. Like I
yeah,
love giving, but receiving is always like, gosh, am I good enough to receive that compliment, that comment, that whatever? And now it happens actually fairly often. And I feel so blessed knowing
yeah.
that, I'm putting something positive out into the world. I'm
Yep,
bringing something to people that are soothing something for them. I mean, that even if it just helps one person, it's better than helping no persons at all.
yep. I agree 100%. I look at it as long as you can touch one person each day,
Mm,
maybe a week, whatever. As long as you can touch one person for so many, whatever, it's worth it. It's worth it. Starting that podcast and getting the feedback I've gotten has brought me more joy than, I mean, aside from family and kids,
hmm.
more joy than anything else could in life.
I love that. Well, what is in the future for Kevin Ford?
So I plan on getting back into podcasting now that the book's done. I might write book two. I might. I'm undecided yet. I've had a few people tell me I should.
Hmm.
And hopefully get more public speeches because I'm slowly getting okay at that. I'm not the best at talking in front of a group of people. I don't know, but my wife and everybody around me says, I don't know, you're pretty good at not shutting up. So we'll see. A lot of people say I'm really good at not shutting up. So I don't know. We'll see what happens.
That's not the worst gift to have either. I mean, I love public speaking. I have the same problem.
Yeah. I've had a lot of people tell me, man, you're pretty good at not shutting up, huh? I said, yeah, pretty much. I'm
Hey,
the
when
guy
you
that
got
can
good
talk to,
stuff to say, you got to say it.
yeah, and I'm the type of guy that could probably talk to a brick wall and
Mm.
still find a way to carry on a conversation. But
Yeah.
I figure
Wow.
use it for my benefit to help others.
Absolutely. I love that. Thank you so much for sitting here with me today, Kevin. This has been really enlightening for me. I mean, like you said, Tourette's wasn't talked about so much, and now there's that girl, Balin, I think her name is.
Maitland out loud.
Yeah, and she, is very out loud with everything she does. And I think that that's brought in a lot of light to Tourette's and what
Yeah,
it can look like. Same thing with my dad had aphasia, and nobody ever really heard about that. But then Bruce Willis got aphasia, and then everybody all of a sudden knew what aphasia was. It's like we need to have like popular people start getting some stuff so that the world knows what it
yeah.
is.
Then everybody's aware of what it really is.
Yeah, so this has been really informative and I'm sure comforting for people that can relate. So, if somebody wants to find you aside from the book, where are you?
So the best way to reach me is Kevin Ford on Facebook, direct message.
Perfect.
That would be the way that I would get notified the easiest.
Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sitting here with me today, being so open about everything, explaining Tourette's at a different level than I've seen it before. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. All right, School of Hard Knocks, you know the drill. As soon as you are done watching this episode, go and find Kevin. Make sure you're following him, like his stuff. Make sure you're supporting everything that he's doing. And like he said, if you have any questions, go ahead and send him a message. So thanks for sitting here with us today. And as always, when you're walking with God, healing is always possible. I will see you guys on the next episode. I'd like to thank you for sharing your time with me today. And I'm so proud of you for stepping into your healing journey. Please share this with every single person that you know. I'm here to make the biggest impact possible, and I can only do that with you by my side. I hope you hit that follow button and you save me to your library so you never miss an episode. We just took another break out of your wall, and remember, with God, healing is always possible. I look forward to seeing you on the next episode.